India has so much to offer, from the Ganges at sunset to the iconic Taj Mahal. It's home to many of the world's major religions, with a civilization going back 10,000 years. So it should present an incredible travel experience. But what is not so incredible about India is how relatively few tourists it attracts. Just over 6.5 million, compared to 10 million for Singapore and Korea, and 57 million for China. So why isn't India fulfilling its tourism potential?
I truly believe that everything in India will transform and change if we actually understand the potential of Indian tourism.
In this programme, we'll be examining why travellers aren't so enamoured with India's biggest city. We meet some young pioneers who are using technology and innovation to try and change that, and then head to India's most popular coastal resort to see why mass tourism isn't necessarily a good thing. So join me as I fast-track through the assault on the senses that is at once intriguing, enterprising, and above all, enigmatic India. Mumbai, a city of 15 million people. Loud, in your face and vibrant. This is the adrenaline-charged hub of the world's second most populous country, where glamour and poverty sit cheek by jowl and luxury is tempered by concerns over security. I've given myself 24 hours to explore the city and to find ways in which it can overcome some long-standing stumbling blocks to become a destination of choice in its own right. First up, in the early morning haze, a little light exercise in one of Mumbai's few green open spaces. Indeed, a shrine to the everyday Indian's love of cricket. But today, some young kids are learning a very different and rather more gymnastic skill. It's called Malakam Yoga, and it dates back almost 1,000 years. Boys start as young as 5, and within a year are performing without help.
The students from abroad, they come here, they stay in Mumbai and they learn Malakam. So it is becoming a global sport.
And now the sport is attracting outside interest. Indoors, international and local girls participate in another variety of Malakam.
Put the left leg inside and hold it in the toe, keeping the knee straight and smiling.
And you think I'm going to do that?
You can do it, provided you keep this leg straight.
Oh dear, I knew I'd get roped in.
You will slide down a little bit. 1, 2, and go up, 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 up. Go up, up. No, yeah, take it, push the knee inside. No, knee inside, knee inside.
A picture of grace and agility, I would say. Wouldn't you agree?
That
hurt. That wasn't close. That was close. It's now just after 11 a.m. So, aside from tying oneself in knots, what else can the curious traveller do in India's biggest city? Well, you could do worse than just setting out on foot and experiencing life on the streets. Hi, are you the traveller group?
Yeah, we're traveling.
Hi.
This is Chor Bazaar. It's probably one of the city's most popular and biggest flea markets, and actually it's kind of like hipster haven, where you can get loads of vintage lamps, artifacts, old Bollywood posters and photographs.
Harsh Kumbani was an investment banker in New York, but returned to Mumbai to create a website that connects locals with tourists so that both groups can experience the sights of the city together. 50 rupees. Harsh has strong views on why India has underperformed as a destination.
Lack of infrastructure, both physical as well as online infrastructure. Only recently have people been able to buy railroad tickets, on the web to travel throughout India. But I think new people like my generation are starting to do new things and add to the landscape. Mumbai shouldn't just be a gateway to the rest of India. There's actually a lot to see here, and people just need to take the time to uncover it.
So don't just use it as a transit point, stick around for a bit.
Stick around, yeah.
India today boasts 1 million millionaires. But there are also still more people in extreme poverty in India than in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. In Mumbai, around a half of the population lives in the slums. For newcomers to Mumbai, there's also the culture shock of traffic congestion. But never fear, relief is at hand from that choking road system with this, a brand spanking new elevated metro system running 11 kilometres east to west. It's one line for now, but compared to that, it's bliss. The metro is due to open later this year, so I had to use more traditional transport. They reckon that about 10% of the world's road accidents happen in India. And I can kind of believe that. Then again, around 12% of the world's population actually live in India. So there you go. So close, that was so close. And the Indian solution to bad driving? Banging that horn as often and as loud as possible. In fact, I'd go as far as saying that indiscriminate honking is an Indian epidemic. Anand, a behavioural design specialist, is at his wit's end.
I'm not doing anything, but he's honking. I can wait for them to move, right? I don't have to honk right now. They are moving anyway. But people will just honk. Wasn't that ridiculous? Okay, look at that.
So Anand and his business partner decided to do something about it, and the Bleep campaign was born.
We love to honk, and we love our horns loud. The problem with our love for honking is that it's a major contributor to noise pollution. And noise pollution leads to aggravated stress and increased blood pressure.
We invented Bleep, which is a little red button over here, which basically every third time you honk, it beeps and flashes. And to turn it off, you have to just switch it.
They spent 6 months testing drivers without and then with the bleeper switched on, and found the effect was an astonishing 61% drop in honking.
Voluntarily, nobody is going to fit Bleep in their cars. The route we're taking is to get the government to create a law and make it mandatory, just like we're wearing the seat belts. It's mandatory for our safety.
But personal safety issues through bad driving have been overshadowed in the last year by another deeply embedded problem. A 23-year-old student viciously gang raped on a bus in Delhi became the focus of the nation as she lost her battle for life and forced India's politicians and police to confront the country's pervasive culture of violence towards women. This has had a serious impact on tourism. According to a report from the Associated Chambers of Commerce of India, released in March 2013, the numbers of female foreign visitors had slumped by a third.
We have a deeply patriarchal society.
For Pranoti Datta, 2013 was a watershed year. The problem of sexual violence is now discussed openly by ordinary people. Yet 1 year on, shocking attacks on Indian and foreign women continue to hog the headlines. So if people do want to come here, and in particular women want to come here, what practical suggestions do you have that are available to them to just make sure they feel safe?
Well, I would just say be vigilant. Be as vigilant as you would be anywhere else. And because India is a conservative place, dress appropriately. Just be aware of yourself and your surroundings and you should be fine.
Interestingly, there is a view that safety for women would be increased if nightlife in Mumbai grew, as there would be more lighting and security in numbers. Nightlife in Mumbai used to be the preserve of Bollywood stars and the social elite, but today it's being enjoyed by the new class of young, upwardly mobile consumers. And the Bandra district of Mumbai is a favourite stamping ground. The state's chief minister has gone as far as proposing Mumbai become a 24-hour city, the New York of Asia, if you will.
Can you imagine a situation where people, would, like they do in New York, for instance, would actually come from all around other parts of the world just to come for Mumbai's nightlife scene?
Oh, it would be fantastic if that happened. If you want to see vibrancy, I don't think you'll go to bars like this even in London. There must be nightclubs like that. In bars, you come here 2 hours later, you won't believe this place. This particular place has a sense of, inherent joy and happiness, which is our basic essence of the place.
It's 1:30 in the morning and the party is nearly over, but the honking carries on.
Join us after the break as we leave the big city and head south, from mass tourism to trash mobs, and the ultimate in spiritual luxury. India is one of the most beautiful, diverse and culturally important countries on Earth, yet it receives far fewer visitors than many smaller destinations. In fact, it captures less than 1% of the world's international tourist market. I've been trying to find out why and what's being done to tackle that. So, now it's a trip out of the mayhem of Mumbai to the relative tranquility of India's smallest state, Goa. India's airlines have not got a fantastic record, but with Air Asia and Singapore Airlines about to enter the Indian domestic aviation market, well, that could shake things up a bit. In the meantime, this low-cost operator, Indigo, is doing pretty well, with the radical policy of being punctual and clean at the same time.
If there's any part of India that has truly maximised its tourism potential, it's the tiny state of Goa in the southwest of the country. Now, its coastline is still largely alluring, but today Goa is very much paying the price for decades of unplanned development. This former Portuguese colony has transformed since the days of the untouched paradise of the 60s and 70s.
A record 3 million tourists came to Goa in 2013, of which nearly 500,000 were foreigners.
It'd be wrong to brand the whole region as overcrowded, but for many locals, there seems to be no strategy to cope with this influx. The beach shack culture goes right back to the 1960s, and this shack owner has been on the scene for 30 years, observing the number of establishments rise from 3 to 100 on this beach alone.
That old spark which was there, that is no longer there. Because now we get too many players in the field trying to eat the same cake.
Sebastian believes there is a lack of clear tourism strategy from local authorities.
Basic problem with Goan tourism is we don't know where we are, we don't know where we are going, and we don't know what we want to achieve.
One of the unwanted results of heavy development in Goa has been the huge amount of beach and soil degradation and waste. Luckily, there are local volunteers who are willing literally to pick up the pieces, the self-styled trash mobs.
Hi guys. Hi. How are you? You all right?
All right.
Doing a good job here. Just let me know one thing. We are now at the moment en route between the biggest town in Goa and the biggest tourist resort. Is that right?
Right, that's right.
And this is a typical scene, is it?
It's more often found, yes. You could say that. We have garbage all the way around. Yeah.
By day, Axel and Milind work for their graphic design company, but now they're on a mission.
Watch out for the diapers.
Diapers, right?
Yes.
Why aren't there professionals doing this?
That's a question we ask ourselves every day. But yes, the government can do something about it. And I really don't know why. In spite of having a budget, if they're not doing it, then they are in contempt of the law. You want to come into the camera?
Join us?
You want to...
Tourism is responsible for much of the dumping, but the simple fact is that there is a dearth of garbage bins and recycling sites.
If you clean this up, it would definitely boost the tourism industry, especially for a state like Goa, which tourism right now is the main source of income. It's about one day walking on the streets and seeing Goa as beautiful as we've seen it at once upon a time,
But what about the let it all hang out party spirit that used to prevail in Goa? Well, it hasn't gone away, it's just more organised. This is Sunburn, an electronic music festival brand which each December has been staging huge events in Goa. The man at the helm, Asia's biggest music promoter, has seen the place change drastically.
I've seen Goa since I was a kid to now. I saw it as a destination full of emotion and vibrance and purity and virginity and all the elements that you're looking for to escape from your own world. But I think the emotions have been replaced by economics, which I think is very dangerous.
Why do you think that India gets such relatively few tourist arrivals compared to other Asian countries?
I truly believe that everything in India will transform and change if we actually understand the potential of Indian tourism and actually market tourism as the main product of India. Allow the whole world to come and experience our culture, tradition, color, festivities. Oh my God, it's the most inspirational land on the planet. And this is not happening, but it just doesn't exist in the DNA of our politicians.
Next day, from Kalangut in northern Goa, it's a 4-hour trek along bumpy roads to Gokarna in Karnataka, relatively raw when it comes to the world of mass tourism.
Karnataka is probably best known for its state capital, Bangalore, a major IT hub. But it's also got 320 kilometres of pristine coastline to explore. Many here had their eyes on the same prize as Goa, a thriving beach-based tourism industry. But the issue now is how to avoid the same pitfalls here as the northern neighbour. At the moment at least, Karnataka resembles Goa in its previous incarnation. Relatively undeveloped, it's a beacon of purity for the more spiritually inclined. And a prime example of this ethos is the Swaswara resort in the town of Gokarna.
an upmarket, eco-friendly wellness centre. Average price, around $500 a night.
Yoga is the cornerstone activity here. I wouldn't like to be cleaning the floor after this session, mind you.
Swaswara is environmentally conscious. The resort grows its own vegetables and herbs and is self-reliant for water.
And the local community, after some initial resistance, is now on board as the main source of labour and supplies for the resort.
Cumin, coriander seeds.
And local specialities are on the menu. The head chef teaches me how to make a supremely healthy version of my favourite, fish curry.
Perfect. Genius.
It's all very nice, but also rather exclusive. So what about the prospect of bringing Goa to Karnataka, as the regional tourism minister has suggested, to boost the economy and create jobs? Would that be welcomed? Well, no. Not by everyone in the local community, and certainly not by eco-resorts like Swaswara, who see their golden goose in danger of being slaughtered.
It's definitely not a good idea. It would kill the place. So far, Karnataka has been quite cautious about how they move. They're more strict in their laws and environment and protecting their wildlife. And so I hope we don't go the way Goa has. I hope we've learned a lesson from them, because they've gone to a point of no return in a sense. You can't really pull back once you've gone that far.
A few hippies and backpackers revel in their idyllic secret paradise. But how long will it remain this way?
Next morning, and a big turnout for meditation at sunrise, and a chance for me to reflect. So, I came to India on a mission to find out why a country that appears to have so much to offer receives relatively fewer international tourists than it could, or perhaps should.
I've been coming here since I was a small child, and in many ways it might as well be a different country today. But some aspects, like widespread poverty and poor transport infrastructure, just haven't changed.
But I also met a new generation of self-starters, people who want to challenge and correct the mistakes of their elders, and not for a quick buck, but out of passion and because they believe it's the right thing to do.
The Indian government says it wants tourism arrivals to double by 2016 and plans to make tourist visas available online. But we saw in Goa that while mass tourism may bring financial rewards, local identity and culture can be undermined.
And maybe that's the thing about India. It's so diverse, so vast, that you can't put it in a box, can't categorise it, can't turn it into a easily packaged mass tourism destination. Ultimately, it's not so much about incredible India, but indefinable India. And that is its charm.